Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about all of the books that I read in May. This was a really amazing reading month for me. I read 9 books. I did DNF 2, but every other book that I did end up finishing this month was really great. So I'm really excited to talk about these books. There's a lot to dive into, but let's talk about the books that I DNF'd first. So the first book that I DNF'd was actually God Killer by Hannah Kaner. Now this was a complicated one for me, and if you have read this, I want you to tell me if I should give it a second chance or not. This is the first installment of a fantasy trilogy. There's gods, there's monsters, there's like monster god killer, obviously god killers. But I DNF'd this because I was about halfway through and I was thinking to myself, I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. This could be really great. This could be a really fun trilogy. This could be a good series for me. But when I got to the halfway point, part of me was interested, but simultaneously I was like not interested at all. And I have not thought about it once since I set it down. Okay, the second one that I DNF'd might be a little bit of a surprise to some people, but that is The Bright Years by Sarah DeMoff. I was really excited about this, and the reason why I DNF'd this is I think that this book is going to be accessible and is going to be amazing for a lot of people. As someone who has lived the trauma of being a child of addicts and not present parents, etc., if I'm going to relive the trauma, I want it to be new and interesting, and like I want the story to be told in a really interesting way if I'm gonna relive it, if that makes any sense. Like if I'm gonna be brought back to that place, I want it to be worth it, and I want it to be done extremely well. I want it to be really unique. I want Demon Copperhead, I want Martyr, I want even Ask Again Yes. Like this just wasn't scratching the itch in my brain that I needed. This wasn't really cathartic for me. This was more like I wanted it to be told differently, which isn't the book's fault, because I am a big proponent that when you are reviewing books, when you're thinking about books, you need to not judge the book based off of what you wanted it to be. You need to judge the book based off of what it was. And I think this is going to be amazing for some people. This is just personally not the addiction family narrative that I'm going to respond to. So this is not for me. This is not a knock at the writing. This is not a knock at like the character work. This is just for me personally. This wasn't scratching what I needed it to. But for someone else, I do think this is going to be good. Now let's go into books that I loved. You will notice I'm only going to talk about 8 books here because one of the books was a nonfiction book on selling things that we read for work. So no, I'm not going to talk about that. But talking about my new favorite, oh my gosh, my angel, Carly Fortune. I'm her number one. I'm the disciple in the Church of Carly Fortune. I love her. I love her. Oh my God, this was so good. And this did not disappoint. 5 stars for sure. This is about, if you read Every Summer After, which I do think this is like it's like technically an interconnected standalone, but for Charlie's character development, which is the main male character in this, for his character development, I do think that it's important that you have read Every Summer After, which is the first one. This is Charlie and Alice. Alice is staying at a friend's lake house with her grandmother. Her grandmother had just had an accident. She's really not doing well emotionally. She's really not doing good. Alice is also going through it, like career-wise, relationship-wise, she's just also going through it. And so she was like, when was a time that we were so happy? Oh yeah, when we were at the lake. So they go to the lake, they rent out the same lake house that they did like 15 years ago. And Charlie is the next door neighbor, and he's also helping out the landlord of the of the lake house. So he's helping him out. So he's making sure that everything's good. A little bit of forced proximity there. The way Carly Fortune does setting, banter, flirting, it is like so unmatched. I was giggling reading this book. I'm in love with Charlie. It was just so good. The third act breakup like made sense to me. It was just such a good escape time. If you're going on vacation, if you aren't going on vacation and you just want a summer escape, I would 100% read this book. It's just so good. Oh, glittering and atmospheric, and it was just such a fun time. Next was a book that I'm a little bit surprised that I have really complicated feelings about this book. So that is Just Kids by Patti Smith. If you're looking at my tabs and you're like, Rachel, what are you talking about? You tabbed this book to high heaven. Why do you have complicated feelings about it? Great question. So we read this for Memoir Book Club that I lead, and this was so different from any other memoir that I have ever read, ever. Patti Smith is really fantastic. She's extremely talented, and her writing is unmatched, honestly, in a lot of areas. I can't relate to it, which is not like, okay, so what I've heard about this book is people read it and they're like, oh my gosh, it's life-changing. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm not the same. And anytime anyone wants to get into reading, I shove this book in their hands. I don't relate to that. That is not what personally I would do. The hard thing about this book is I would be reading it and I would be thinking to myself, dear God, this is the most beautiful sentence I have ever read in my entire life. She's a really good author. This was the first book that she wrote, I believe. She's a really good author. Her way of storytelling and weaving different elements of the story throughout the book was really impressive. It was really great. And then other times I would be like, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about this? Why is this important? What's going on here? I did not emotionally connect to this the way that I think a lot of other people do. I like intellectually connected to it, if that makes any sense. Oh, I didn't even say what this is about. So this is written by Patti Smith. This is chronicling her relationship and her life with Robert Mapplethorpe, who was a famous artist and photographer. And it is all about their relationship because they started out romantically. Then Robert wanted to explore his sexuality, and so then they remained friends. But through everything, like, this is the true definition of soulmates. Like, whether it was romantic or platonic, they were always there for each other. And she was really helped him through the time of his death as well, because he did die of AIDS. This is all about their relationship, how they became artists, the journey to becoming an artist, like the things that they gave up to pursue being an artist is crazy. I would never be starving and be okay with having lice. I wouldn't. There's a lot of lice in this book. I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I've never wanted it that bad. I've never wanted it that bad. And they did. And that is fascinating. Their relationship is fascinating. It really is really fascinating. I just didn't emotionally connect it with the way that I feel that other people have and do. But I really appreciate it for what it was. I thought it was really good. Okay, so the next one I need you guys to help me out with a little bit. I should have done my research on this because I'm about to ask y'all a question and I definitely could have Googled it myself. But this is On Calculations of Volume. This is the first installment. Now, this book was nominated for the International Booker Prize, I believe. No, I don't know if it was the International Booker. No, it was the International Booker Prize. This was shortlisted for it, which is amazing, really impressive. This book blew up on the internet for a really long time. I bought it. I was in the mood to read a short book, so I finally got around to it. And what this is about is this is a woman and she has a husband, she has a job, she is living a really good life, and she is trapped in the same day. It's the 18th of November, every single day. She is trapped in it. And what I really loved about this book, because she starts with, it's like her 100th November or something, her 100th 18th of November. And she is chronicling like what she does, and then she'll go back to like the first time that it happened, like the second 18th of November. And then she's like going through all of these things, and that was fascinating to me, actually. Like, it was really, really intriguing and interesting. The writing is really, really great. And it reminded me a little bit of the sensation of reading I Who Have Never Known Men. Not in plot, not even in writing, but in the way where she's discovering things or trying her best to discover things, and she doesn't know what's going on, and we don't know what's going on. And we don't have any explanation, at least at this point. And so, because it reminded me of the same feeling of when I was reading I Who Have Never Known Men, and I was like, wait, what is that? And what if this is that? And why is that happening, but that's not happening? And why, like, you know what I mean? It really made you think, and I really, really liked that. Where I'm confused, because Volume 1 and Volume 2 are out currently, okay? Volume 3 and Volume 4 are being released, at least in America, in November. What I'm lost on is one of the pull quotes in the beginning of this book says something about an unparalleled cliffhanger. And I'm kind of like, did I miss something? Because I don't think there was any cliffhanger. I'm like, what's the cliffhanger? Am I stupid? Did I miss something? Like, I don't understand. So I'm like, is the cliffhanger at the end of Volume 2? Because I'm thinking that, I don't know. I need to do my research. I'm an idiot. I should have done my research before coming on here and talking about this. But I'm thinking that it's like all one book and they're translating it in volumes, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Who's to say? But yeah, I'm like, there's no cliffhanger. There's no cliffhanger. But this was probably like a 3.5 star for me. I'm definitely intrigued to continue and pick it up. Cover's amazing. I'm definitely intrigued to continue and pick it up, but I'm not like itching to do it. Like, I know that I will, but I'm not like feral for it. You know what I mean? Okay, next we have a book that ended up actually being a really special book for me. I just wasn't expecting to have this reaction while reading it. This is Upon a Starlit Tide by Kel Woods. I have not seen anyone talk about this, and that is such a disappointment. That is so sad. I feel like so many people would love this. I got this in my Aardvark book box, which I also would highly recommend. Real quick tangent. The difference between Aardvark and Book of the Month. I feel like Book of the Month is a great book box if you are getting into reading. They have an amazing backlog of really popular, really great accessible reads that I think are amazing for when you're starting to get into reading. I was a member for like 2 years. I just started getting bored with their selections. I didn't really think they were doing anything new or exciting. I personally felt like there was a lack in diversity things. I just wasn't really vibing with them anymore. And then I saw Aardvark, which is so great. I kind of like watched their selections for for a few months before I decided to join, and I am so glad that they did. They also do the thing where you can add past books into your box. They've had really amazing selections. I'm really inspired by what they're doing. I think that it's really good. All that to say, check it out. This is one of my picks. This is marketed as a historic fantasy. I think it takes place in it's historic. I don't know what time. Oh, 1750 something. So it takes place in the 1750s. So it's a historic fantasy, and it's marketed as a cross between Cinderella and The Little Mermaid. Now, pause. Because I feel like that undercuts it a lot. I feel like that undercuts the depth of this book, because I feel like when people hear that, they're just like, oh, a Disney retelling? No. Like, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be what we've always heard, like all of that stuff. There's definitely elements of it. Like, there are mermaid elements, there are mermaids, and there is a Cinderella-ish element to it, but I would not hear that and be discouraged. I think that undersells what is happening in this book greatly. There is so much depth and life within this, and it's so good. So basically we have this island that is like a French island, And they basically live in a world where fae, which it's not, fae essentially just means that you're a magical being in this. It doesn't mean fairies, fae. It just means that you have magical qualities. Like the mermaids in this, the sirens in this are fae themselves. We have our main girl, her name is Lucinda, and she is the daughter of the wealthiest merchant ship trader guy on this island. Like he basically like runs this island, he runs all the ports, like he is the big guy, big name, very wealthy, very huge house, all of that stuff. But her feet are messed up, so they're like bent weird ways, like her toes are bent weird ways, her bone, like it's awful and it hurts, and she's in a lot of pain all the time. So we have that. She is always feeling like called to the ocean. She wants to explore. Like she wants to get on a ship. She wants to get on a boat. She wants to explore the world. She wants to see everything. She doesn't want to be stuck on this island. She doesn't want to be forced to marry anyone. She just isn't about that life. Her best friend Samuel has been teaching her how to sail and all of that stuff because he is like low-key a pirate, essentially. Like he's a forager. So like when things go down, he'll like go and forage it and resell it. He's definitely a pirate. It's definitely illegal. So that's her very best friend. She is witnesses a shipwreck, and she witnesses someone who she thinks might still be living. So she goes out to save him. She believes herself to be in love with him. He believes himself to be in love with her. And Lucinda is basically just learning about life and herself and her family and all of that stuff. The atmosphere is so great. It's so good. The historic nature of this like really did something for me. I mean that research was done. The writing is impeccable. It's amazing. You really feel like you're there. She does a great job with the character work of this. It made me giggle. It made me like smile and blush, and it was so much more than just a romance. I highly recommend that you read this. I highly recommend that you give it a try, and I highly recommend that you check out Aardvark. The next one is Rabbit Moon by Jennifer Haig. This was our fiction book club pick, and guys, I loved this book. I loved this book. Where do I even begin with this? This was a crowd favorite at book club. Everyone really loved discussing this. It was such a great discussion. Lots to think about, lots to unpack. So essentially we have a family. This is surrounding a family, divorced parents, two sisters. It's really, really different than any family novel I've ever read, with the dynamics and everything. Essentially, we have our main girl, Lindsay. She is 22 and she is living in Shanghai. A bit of a backstory on why Lindsay's in Shanghai. It's important. She and her mom, when Lindsay was 11 and her baby sister Grace was a newborn, they traveled to Shanghai to adopt Grace from an orphanage there. So Grace is Chinese, adopted into a white family that lives in America. When they were in China, Lindsay really fell in love with the language. Like she's really good on picking up languages. She's really good on it. She fell in love with it, so she wanted to learn it. She wanted to become fluent, and something happens in this family. There's a really big rift, like really big life-altering situation. And so Lindsay needs to escape, and she needs to get out, and she doesn't want to see her parents anymore. She doesn't want to talk to them, and so she goes to China to teach English. The only person that Lindsay stays in contact with regularly and in a meaningful way, because you can still be in contact with family and have it not be meaningful, the only person she still has a relationship with is her little sister Grace. Are really, really close. I mean, as close as a 22-year-old can be to an 11-year-old, but their relationship is really precious. It's really sweet. And on page 2 of this book, literally page 2 of this book, Lindsay is walking in the financial district of Shanghai, and she is, it's like 4 in the morning, and she gets hit by a car. She gets hit, and she is now in a coma. And so her parents get contacted, and they are divorced. They do not have a good relationship. They have to come together, come to China, figure out what to do, what's going on, what's going to happen to Lindsay. And all this time, Grace is in summer camp in America. So basically what we have here is we bounce back and forth between Lindsay's life, what happened that kind of separated them, what she's been doing while she's been living in Shanghai, all of these things. We get what really happened, and then we kind of bounce back in between the present with what the parents think happened, like what they think she's been doing, like just also their relationship of having to come together. Like their relationship is so broken, it's like demolished. There's a lot of resentment and anger there between them. Watching their different personalities, them try to figure out what's going on, seeing Lindsay in this coma. It's just fascinating. I really hope that I'm selling you on it right now, but there's only so much that I can say without spoiling really huge elements of this book that I think that you shouldn't know going into it. What you should know is couldn't put it down, finished it super quick. The writing is so good. The character work, the way that she developed these characters, the way that she wove the plot in without you even knowing it is so good. I think this would be a great book club book. There were a lot of elements of it that were so fascinating to discuss with other people. And I just overall had a really great time. I really want to read more by this author. I was just really impressed. Okay, and so now we actually have another Aardvark pick, which is Junie. This, first off, I saw this cover and I was like, immediate yes, because I do judge books by covers. I think everyone does. And if you say you don't, you're a liar. This is magical realism, historical. This is right on the cusp of the Civil War. So this is right before all of that is going to start. And then at the very, very beginning of it, we have Junie, who lives on a plantation in Alabama. She has lived there all of her life. She is a maid to the daughter in the house who is the same age as her. And their relationship is really, really fascinating to dissect and think about because they're like sisters. They're like best friends, but she is her slave. It's really interesting. It's fascinating. And she has also recently suffered the loss of her sister, Missy. So she is really grieving. She is still really sad for a lot of reasons. And she is trying to figure out how to navigate this world. The girl that she is made to, Violet, just extremely close to Junie. She's the one that she's the closest to. They're really good friends. They're like sisters. Both of them say that a lot, that they're like sisters. Violet actually teaches Junie how to read, and like in secret in their room, and so they read stories together. Junie loves poetry. She just has a heart where she just wants more, and she wants to live more than what is being offered to her and given to her. And there are rumors, there are stirrings that Violet is going to get married and have to move to New Orleans, which means that Junie would have to go with Violet whether or not she wants to. Because she's her slave and that's how it works. So Junie starts trying to come up with a solution. Like she's like, how do I come up with this plan so that I do not have to leave? Because she doesn't want to leave her family. She doesn't want to leave her grandparents. She doesn't want to leave her aunt. She doesn't want to leave her cousin. Like she just wants to have the autonomy to make her own choices. And so she's trying to figure out what she should do. And she makes a decision that stirs up the ghost of her dead sister. And her dead sister says that she has unfinished business, and if Junie helps her complete this business, she will be able to put Missy's soul to rest, and also she wouldn't have to leave. She would be able to stay in Alabama with her family. And so that sends Junie on her little quest. And she gets the help of Caleb, who is the man that Violet's going to be marrying, his footman, his slave. They come together and try to work this out. Now, this book, the writing, the setting, the character development, the intricacies of dissecting the relationship between Violet and Junie is so well done and is so amazing and so impressive, because this is also a debut novel. And I was just so like impressed by how this author was able to pull all of that off and have it be entertaining and have you want to be gripped and have a crazy ending. It was just everything I wanted it to be. Like, just living in the South and then reading about this and reading about this time in history. And yes, there's a magical realism element, but everything is real. Everything else is real in this. And it's always like, I just really feel like this is important. I think that because I learned things reading this book that I didn't know. Like, there was one scene specifically that will never leave my head that I texted my other friend Erica, who read this, and we were talking about it, and I was like, I did not know that they did that. Like, I did not know that that used to happen. I want to throw up. You ready? You might be able to guess. This was also loosely inspired by the author's great-great-grandmother, I want to say. I think it's her great-great-great. It hasn't really been that long, guys. I think it was great-great-great. I don't know how many greats it was. It was her grandmother. This is based off of stories that her family used to share about her and what happened to her and all of that stuff. So, which makes it even more special. So yeah, that was Junie. I really, really liked it. And last but not least, my MVPs of life. Dark Mirror, Mask Falling, Samantha Shannon, books 4 and 5 of the Bone Season series. Oh my God. Make a reading vlog for that series specifically. If you're interested, go ahead and watch that. But I love these books. I love these books. I can't say too much about these. I'm gonna put those down because they're really heavy. Can't say too much about those without spoiling elements of the first 3 books. But what I will say is The Bone Season is a severely underrated fantasy series, and everyone needs to try it to see if it's for them. If you hear anything from this video, try The Bone Season. Try it, try it, try it. It is a dystopian fantasy where it takes place in like 2049 or something, so it's not really that far off. And clairvoyance, so people who have abilities like telling the future, seeing ghosts, like using it's complicated. It's complicated, but just know people with clairvoyant powers are alive and in the world, and this is a known thing. And you have London, which is where the first books take place. We have London, where being a clairvoyant is illegal. There is this new government that has taken hold in the UK called the Republic of Sion, and it is illegal to be a clairvoyant. You cannot be one. They have people patrolling the streets to catch you and put you in jail and kill you if you are a clairvoyant. So we have Paige Mahoney, my Paige. And she is one of the rarest and most powerful clairvoyants, and she is a member of the underground syndicate, which is basically like thievery. it's basically like the underground. It's like criminals. And she is the second in command to one of the most powerful people in the syndicate. And so Paige gets arrested and abducted and taken to Oxford, where she is not arrested. She is not killed. She learns the secret of Sion and the Republic of Sion, and where, like how it was founded, who controls it, what's really going on, because people do not actually know what's really happening. And Paige learns and she finds out, and the rest goes from there. I think that's all you should know about the plot. I think that's all you should know about the plot. It is fascinating. It is, the slow burn romance is so good. It's not romantasy. It's not romantasy. It is fantasy with a romance. So good. So good. It's funny. It's horrible. It makes me want to cry. Paige goes through so much. Like, I genuinely do not think that I've ever read another fantasy book where a main character goes through more than Paige. Genuinely mean that. And if I had to wait, like, publishing wise, there was 4 years in between book 4 and book 5. And book 4 had the craziest cliffhanger of my life. If you watch that reading vlog, you'll see my reaction. And so I'm just really glad that I read those, and now there is 2 more coming out. I think that you should give it a try. I think you should see if it's for you. I promise it will be. Or at least I promise it'll be for most of you. Definitely think it's worth a shot. And yeah. Yeah, so that's basically it. That's the Bone season. Books 4 and 5, both 5-star books. I cannot wait until the next 2. I want to cry. She's writing the 6th right now. And yeah, I don't really know what else I can say about that without gushing everywhere like I already am. So yeah, that was May's reading. Really good reading month. June is looking up too. I'm really excited about the things that I have planned to read. And yeah, I hope you guys had a great reading month. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite book was that you read this month, and I will talk to you guys later.